D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I wanted to come to you today to do this, to read through this Forbes article, because this stuff like this just makes me so annoyed. Like I don't like when people make articles like this, and it's all about review bombing. And everybody wants to talk about how, like, if us toxic men don't like something, then we just review bomb it. Now, I'm not saying that this doesn't happen, but I'm just saying, like, first off, people can think this is bad because the show wasn't that great. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't think it was, I wouldn't have gave it a 5-star review on IMDb. And if I didn't get to see the first 4 episodes like critics, but if I wait till episode 4 and it's the same thing, I wouldn't give it a fresh tomato. I'd be like, listen, it's very meh, and I'm sorry, But let's read through this from Paul Tassi. Let's see what he says over there at Forbes. Isn't that like a money magazine? Games. He's all games. Ooh, look at him. Okay, so it says SheHulk is getting review bombed even harder than Miss Marvel. Is it though? I mean, Miss Marvel wasn't that great either. So, all right. Anyways, all right. Let's do this. This is one of those things I just knew was going to happen because you could see it coming from a mile away. She-Hulk attracted controversy ahead of release for its digital effects in trailers, but which it deserved that criticism. I'm sorry, that's criticism, and it deserved it 100%. If you saw the trailer, that first trailer, it looked god awful. It looked like a fan-made trailer. So I don't want to hear that nonsense. Anyways, okay. But past that happens to be an MCU show directed by, written by, produced by, and starring women. God. Okay. That's and that's the thing. Everybody thinks that everybody gets upset when women do every single thing. No, they don't. Okay. And as such, it's being review bombed with a flurry of 1-star reviews here on launch day, almost identically to what happened to Miss Marvel, and what has not happened to the same extent with the other MCU series. Okay, so what? Who cares? Like, that's the thing. Everybody wants to be on like review bomb. It's got, the last time I checked, it had an 80 something on Rotten Tomatoes. And plus, most people like myself, I don't even care about any of that crap. I don't know about you guys. The only time I use Rotten Tomatoes is when somebody uses Rotten Tomatoes as a defense. Then I go and I'm all like, okay, fine. If you think that this movie's so, stupid, it's got a higher rating than this movie from Rotten Tomatoes, which you absolutely, cream in your pants every time somebody mentions it. So I don't use any of those things, unless it's, helpful, in an argument. Anyways, in fact, this is actually worse than what happened with Miss Marvel. Well, you know what, Miss Marvel, the problem with that one is that show, it just didn't look interesting, in my opinion. Ms. Marvel looked very bland, very not good. I mean, like, in the sense that, like, the actress in that was charming. I watched these interviews with her and she was charming and all that stuff. This show, they literally go out to say, if you watch those trailers, you got that one trailer where she's doing everything better than the Hulk. She's like, I'm better than you at this kind of thing. And if you're going to market it that, like he's saying women are better than men, then get ready to get, some backlash for it, dummy. Like, I'm sorry. You act like this wasn't warranted. You started this, okay? So don't whine about it if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen, okay? And don't start slinging whatever. Anyways, okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting off on tangents. I'm kind of getting annoyed right now. Okay. This is actually worse than what happened to Miss Marvel. All I have to do is consult the last article I wrote about this. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Somebody's trying to push their own articles, which shows what review bombing actually looks like, where it's taking place on IMDb, which only takes users' scores into account, unlike Rotten Tomatoes, which splits critics and users. Okay, so listen, I'll tell you right now, I'll listen to a friend and what they say about a movie or a show way more than I will a critic. And I read a lot of stuff from critics. So Back when I wrote how this was happening to Miss Marvel, here were the percent of reviews that were 1 star for all the other Marvel shows. Okay, 1.5% for Loki, WandaVision 2.2%, Hawkeye, okay, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Ms. Marvel 22.2%. Okay, get over yourself. She-Hulk 35.8%. Okay, and then here he has the results. I don't know how up to date this is. Just because this article is a couple of days old. Hold on, let me look. The 18th, so it's like 2 days old because it's the 20th, right? It's the 20th. Oh, come on, don't be a dick. Yeah, so this is 2 days old, so it could have changed by now. They might have erased all these 1-star reviews. Although if they did, like, out of all of this, if I was gonna rate She-Hulk right now with just the 1 episode, I'd give it a 4 or a 5. It would not get a 1 from me, but it wouldn't get I wouldn't get a 10. It wouldn't get anything past 5. I'll tell you that, because it's very bland. It was fine. It says, yes, more than a third of all reviews for She-Hulk are 1 star. You know, and another thing, you know, everybody bitches and moans when it gets review bombed, when it's all negative. But if a movie or a show gets review bombed in the positive direction, they don't say anything. And I've heard people use this argument before, and it's a good one, because there are some movies out there. Like, I'm sorry, and I'm going to say this because I'm going to piss a lot of people off, but Captain Marvel is not that good of a movie. It's very meh. It's very bland. But because they stuck it in between 2 of the best Marvel movies ever, and because it was getting, and they said it was getting, and Rotten Tomatoes changed their whole thing, their algorithm for it now, because you have to like watch the movie before you can rank it. But I'm just saying, you know, if it gets an overwhelming amount of positive reviews, nobody bats an eye. Nobody bats an eye. It could be the crappiest show ever. It could get a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm using Rotten Tomatoes, not IMDb, but IMDb, and no one would bat an eye. No one would bat an eye. They'd be like, oh my God, it's so good. And you'd be like, no, it's really not. It really sucks and everything. So 1 star, which makes it current IMDb score 5.4 out of 10. It deserves a 5.4 out of 10. It deserves it. That's where it should be, in my opinion. The lowest of all MCU series, Ms. Marvel, is still at a 6.2 with 19.9% 1-star reviews. So it's not like IMDb every really goes. I think I meant to say ever really. Does anybody proofread this shit before they post it? Anyways, ever really goes and tries to sort through these kinds of bombing campaigns, and they shouldn't. And as I posted last time, here's what this curve looks like for just okay series like Falcon and the Winter Soldier that no one is bombing. Yeah, but I can tell you right now, if you look, I'm just using Miss Marvel because I don't know where She-Hulk ranked in the Nielsen, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier ranked higher than Miss Marvel when it debuted. Because Miss Marvel, the first episode debuted at number 10. Okay. And granted, it had to deal with a lot of competition. But then after that, it didn't debut until I believe its penultimate episode, where it ranked at 3, and then it ranked at 3 again the following week for its I believe it was the following week. I can't remember, but number 3 was the highest it went. So I'm sorry if your series and if your first episode only gets number 10 on the Nielsen charts, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I don't know what it is, but I'd have to go look. Then it gets higher. Then, I mean, of course, yeah, it deserves a higher ranking. Duh. Anyways, okay, back onto this article. Sorry, this is taking way longer than I should have done. Okay, on Rotten Tomatoes, it's less severe. She-Hulk has a 90% critic score. I think it's gone down. I think it's 86 now. It's still fresh, so calm down. With 255 reviews in and 77% audience score. Oh, those were for the critic score. Okay, 90% and then 77, which isn't great. It's the lowest among the MCU shows at the moment, but it's not an intensive of a bombing run as what's being shown on IMDb. All anyone has is their opinion, of course. Oh, but you don't like their opinion because it's bombing them. Oh, so stupid. But there's a difference between a show or a movie reviewing worse than average and a literal flood of 1-star reviews that are incredibly disproportionate compared to every other show except for Miss Marvel. After having watched the first episode this morning, I'd say the complaints about CG are mostly moot now. No, as things look a lot better in the live show than they did in the trailers. True. Also, I also thought the comedy and fourth wall breaking worked. Yeah, it worked, but it wasn't comedy. I didn't find any of this crap fun. I didn't laugh once. I don't know if you laughed, but She-Hulk's not funny so far. But I'm certainly curious to see more and how the show develops now that Jennifer is back in lawyer mode. Okay. So, yes, as ever, this kind of review bombing is incredibly childish and stupid. So is your article. It's childish and stupid. They didn't like She-Hulk, so I'm going to write an article and bitch about it. She-Hulk may not end up being the greatest MCU series ever. I'm pretty sure it won't. Sure, but what's happening here is not reflective of its quality whatsoever and is yet another embarrassing comic book media fandom moment. Listen, don't fuck with the fans then. Paul Tassi, writing about video games, television, and movies for Forbes for 10 years. I'm pretty sure he doesn't play video games. I'll bet you he doesn't play video games. But she just like watches the cutscenes. Anyways, yeah, no, a 5.4 is where it deserves it deserves to be on 5.4. It deserves it. I'm sorry. If you don't agree with that, that's fine. I get it. You have your opinion. But in my opinion, right now, it's a 5.4. Yeah, that's a great, because I said I wouldn't have given it on that rating a 5. I would have gave it a 5 or a 6 at most. So 5.4 is good. Sorry if you can hear my dog. She's insane. But yeah, that's all I got on this. I just don't like this whole, when something, gets negative scores or something, then everybody's all like, oh, they're review bombing it because it's a woman and everything. And you're like, no. First off, I don't believe in review bombing because, nobody complains about it when it goes the other way. When it's all positives for a shit show, everybody's all like, oh, look how great it is. But when it's negative for a mediocre show, then it's a problem. It's ridiculous. All right. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you for listening to me and everything. If you like everything that I do here, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like what I do here, go ahead, hit that like button. I won't mind if you're new to my channel. Please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on my next She-Hulk video. You guys have a good day. Bye.